to wrap it up here real quick because I love this banter that we got going on. Manifestation. Be careful what you manifest. Yeah. Hyper focus on what you want in your life, not what you need. Having needs is great, but your want needs to be your drive.
And follow it up with an extreme amount of action. I think that's one thing we forgot to really mention.
Extreme
amount of action. Action. Move. Go. Once
you get past the
hump. Otherwise, you're just sitting on the couch looking for a genie.
Once you get past the hump and you start to understand that when you are still getting negative things, it's because you're still manifesting the negative. All you got to do is make that shift. Once you get over that hump, it becomes very exciting.
Yeah.
It's like a drug. I tell people every day, I may be in recovery, but I get high every day.
Right.
Because I have such an endorphin rush released in my brain on a regular basis because I'm just excited because it's fun. It's like watching a movie unfold that you're the producer of. You're like, watch this. You can almost, you feel like you can predict the future because you can.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Welcome to Talk Hard Podcast. Right now, we are live in... Damn it, I can't ever think of someplace cool.
City. Oh, I'm definitely not going there. New York is out of the question. Somebody needs to get a pizza cutter, giant size, cut that state out, push it out in the ocean.
Well, I could think of 2 other states that I would equally just cut out and push out in the ocean.
Yeah, but 2 of them are close to the ocean. One of them would need to be shipped, and I'm not wasting my money.
Oh, we got to ship Illinois, too.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I only New York. 3. Well, that one's next to the ocean.
And then California. One's supposedly falling in anyway. So.
Yeah, I'm just hoping.
Deuces. Later. You will not be missed. Yep. Anyway, welcome to the show. We got a great show for you guys.
Okay, stop.
We don't have a great show. Stop what you're doing. We don't have a great show.
We do, but you need to stop, subscribe, share this with your friends.
You know what?
Comment, like. I mean, I got to go down I should write a list. Because there's a lot of instructions that come with the YouTube.
No, but seriously, guys, if you could like this, subscribe to this page, we would really appreciate it. We are trying to do some things, and with your help, we can do it.
We're not trying. We are doing some things. We just appreciate their support.
He said, try to eat a potato chip, dude. You don't try it. You just do it.
Right.
You just do it.
Bet you can't eat just one.
Welcome to the show. But yeah, guys, we do appreciate all your support. We appreciate all you guys out there who listen and like and follow and love us to death. We do. We really do.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today, sir?
I love this part. This is like, I just want to leave him in suspense for just a little bit longer. I want his brain to race. I can see the smoke billowing.
I've had a pretty trying day today. And
why is that?
Well, it's just been one of those great days that I've had where I actually had to do a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Just for reference, for those that work with Marty and for Marty, he does work regularly. So he doesn't just mean the one day of the week that he actually had to work. He does. This was just more than normal.
Say it was a little extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to call it the extra day.
Yeah.
Well, and plus I was on the road probably 4 hours of the day.
That's fun.
And I work while I'm on the road.
Well, yeah.
I have a personal driver.
Yeah, okay.
My truck drives itself.
He's got that 4x4 Tesla.
But yeah, no. So it's just one of those days. A lot of things accomplished. I had 47 things coming at me at all times a day, and my brain is a little fried.
It was 47 things.
It's always 47 things. Always.
Okay.
It's synonymous.
Now this is great actually because again, like normal, here I am. Recognizing patterns, because that's what I like to do.
Oh, yes. Yes, he does.
What I'm constantly
You should play Baccarat, by the way.
That's a different kind of pattern.
That's
not one that serves me the best.
Okay, go ahead.
I lose my house over there. And I'd be like, couldn't see the patterns anymore. I don't know what happened.
Everything went blurred. Everything went black.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Manifesting, man. I've been working with people lately, and I've been hearing a lot of, I just don't get it. Like, what does that mean? And trying to explain to somebody. So for those of you that are listening, just like today, you manifest always.
Oh, God. I wish people would really get into this more.
You know what I mean? Really like you are always manifesting, whether it be good or bad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You attract your energy. That is also known manifesting. That's what it's known as, right?
It's scientific.
So you have to be careful when you go down this space because lately, even myself, like I'll get in this rut for a few hours, and that strength that I now have from manifesting what I'm doing every day can now equally gratify and magnify the negative things. Where I feel like, dang, man, I'm not used to getting kicked in the face this hard. And I'm like, wait a minute, my energy shifted. Now I'm in a more strong way attracting the negative side because I got stuck in that loop for a minute.
Well,
and it feels like a stronger kick to the face.
That's what I was going to ask. I think the kicks are probably a little stronger.
Yeah, absolutely they are, because I'm now so hyper focused on that energy that whatever I'm actually manifesting, when I'm stuck in the negative, I'm manifesting negative. And it's coming at me, and it's coming at me hard, just as equally as when I'm manifesting the positive, that comes at me hard. So you got to be aware of what you're asking for, right? A lot of people are like, well, I'm manifesting. You don't just sit and think. You have to focus. You have to believe, right? You have to believe that what you're thinking is already true, not that you want it to come true. You have to need these things, like need and want and desire and passion, and all these things are triggered inside of you, and these are what are your driving force for life. So when you're doing that, if you're stuck in the negative still, you're going to manifest negative.
With or without you knowing it.
Yeah. So you can't just take that as, oh, it's not working. No, it's working. No. It's working well. You just don't realize that it's working in a negative way still.
Yeah, man. It's one of those things, and I talk about this a lot. And in early recovery, I talk about it with people in early recovery. I have a lot of conversations about that, because really, I believe firmly in this. It's one of those weird situations where science and the spiritual side actually coexist when it comes to
manifesting.
They
always do. But I mean, for a lot of people that is weird, but I believe that is manifesting, when you have to believe in something more powerful than you.
It's metaphysics,
to understand.
Right? But manifesting that's why I believe this is without a doubt 1,000% why the prayer is so powerful.
Absolutely.
It's not because you, and forgive me for Christians and whatnot, and maybe I am a Christian, maybe I'm not. I'm just saying, I don't believe that it's me asking for something to a person, to God,
okay,
right? To a man in the cloud with the white beard type stuff. Okay. And him granting me my wish. I don't believe that for a minute. I believe
he's not a genie.
I believe the power of prayer is thinking, praying, or meditating. Can be the same thing. Can be praying, meditating so hard, so vigorously, so often that essentially you will make that come. Those things will come into your life, because like attracts like, and eventually, and it puts you in a mindset to be able to recognize these little things, because you're constantly dwelling on said subject, and you start to see it. It's I don't know if I've talked about this, but take a notepad, and I've told people in early recovery to do this a million times. Take a notepad when you wake up in the morning and write yellow car. Write it on every line on that notepad, which could be, I think, what is it? How many lines are on a notepad, Chris? None. He should know. None. He's like, how many lines I do? I didn't do any.
No, there are no lines on a notepad unless you get a
I'm not talking about
specific type of notepad.
I'm not doing those types of lines. I'm talking about the little blue.
A CD cover, Chris. We're talking about, for those that don't know what a CD is, it's a little disc.
Oh my God, I thought about that. I seen a post yesterday where it said the struggle is real. And only the old folks will know about this. And it had a CD book with all the CDs in there.
4 to a page. Yeah, you had to flip through alphabetical, or you organized it by genre.
How many of you out there remember the CDs? Because I have a feeling, and this really aged me. I had a feeling there's most of the kids I work with and talk to never have used a CD.
No, definitely not.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me.
I love it, but this is keep going with this because the Bible specifically talks about this, though. So if you were to label me, which I don't believe in, because I'm good with all religions, I am not a Christian.
They all got some powerful.
I believe God sent Jesus down here to destroy religion, because he knew that could be the cause of the destruction of the planet.
According to the Bible, that's what happened.
Right? Yes. So I am not a specific religion. I just believe in a higher power. I call him God because that's how I was raised.
Perfect.
And that's what I believe in. When you go to the Bible, even Quran, you can go through other books or through other religious Bibles, whatever you want to call them. And it speaks very specifically about what you ask for. to beware of what you ask for in prayer. And if you don't believe in what you're asking for in prayer, it's not going to happen. And that's where so many people get lost with God sometimes, is that they're like, well, I prayed and I prayed, but you didn't believe it when you said it. You were hoping.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a miracle, right? But I didn't believe it was actually going to happen. So it's not like God didn't answer your prayers. You didn't believe that it was possible.
Well,
and that's what I mean by manifestation. Like, I am so strong in my belief system now that my manifestation is growing rapidly. I was laughing about it on the way here because I started randomly thinking about the car, the Porsche, and was getting very hyper focused on what do I want to do? You know, what has this done for me and what will be next and yada, yada, yada. And all of a sudden I got passed by a GTS. On the other side was like a Miami Blue. And then on right in front of me was another one. And they were all the same year. It was like all of a sudden my car had babies and they were all other, and I just started laughing because I'm like, yep, that's how this works. They were always there. So for people that don't understand what hyperfocus actually looks like, I want you to think about everybody in your workspace and tell me what color their eyes are. And I'll bet you'll struggle with this pretty bad.
Or even, because what color shirts do they have on today? Let's go a little
Watch
simpler.
a video of someone. Watch a video of someone, and while you're watching their hands move, I want you to tell me how their hair is styled. You can't. Even if those screen is 10 feet in front of you, you can't focus on the TV screen as a whole. You're always focusing on certain things. That's how you miss things. There's actually something you can go online and Google. I believe it's the Black Gorilla, but it shows people dribbling a basketball. And it tells you to focus on how many times they dribbled the basketball and how many times they passed it. In the background is a gorilla running through the actual court.
Nobody notices it.
Nobody notices it.
All right.
Now, when you tell them to do it again, except for look for it, they play the exact same video and people freak out. It's on the same exact video. That is how hyper-focused you have to be to truly manifest.
Yeah.
You have to believe in what you're looking at and what you're seeing and visualize it as though it has already happened. And when you do, it happens.
Guys, I can attest to this on so many different levels. And
Look at your life.
So many different levels, right? Yeah, I mean, 100%. And that's all due to very, very hyper-focused manifestation.
Yes.
And I don't do it as much as I would like to admit.
Yeah.
Right? But God, I would love to get into it because when you start talking about it, it really brings me back to those times in jail, that county jail time. And the power, like how many hours I didn't sit and pray for things. I wasn't asking for things. And forgive me, I'm a firm believer that that's not what prayer is really about anyway.
No.
I'm asking God or somebody, higher power to grant you a wish. That's a genie.
Yeah.
Go get you a genie if you want that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But I sat there for so many hours every single day. I was literally obsessed with it, with what I was going to do when I got out and the steps I was going to take and how I was going to feel. And when I even got to the point where, walking in, I smelled the houses that I was walking in. I felt when I was walking outside, I manifest walking with my earbuds in to work. And I did do that for a very long time. And when I got to the point, I could smell the air. I could smell Terre Haute. I know what Terre Haute smells like from past experiences.
So your imagination
right.
became your reality.
It did.
Which is how this all works.
Yes.
You had this belief inside of you that I am destined for something greater. It was so strong inside of you that no matter what was happening inside jail, which is a lot, for those of you that have been, you understand. For those of you that don't, you don't want to understand.
What up, Block? E-Block. I see E-Block. E-Block in the house.
With all of the chaos, and I can tell you right now, jail is very chaotic. It's very loud. It's very disturbing. There's a lot of things that people get lost in trying to who's the psycho 3 cells down talking to himself, and when am I going to run into him in the chow hall, and all of these things, all of these thoughts that people get consumed by in jail, right? You put all those to the side and you said, I know those are there because I can hear them. I know they're there. So I don't have to think about them. I already believe, and I know those things exist. I believe also that I am destined for greater. So what I'm going to do is focus on this.
Bro.
And I'm going to tell myself this story over and over again. I'm going to play it out in my head because this is how it's going to unfold. Fast forward to today.
I literally wrote the book in my head, word for word.
As you should.
Not just a picture, not a movie. I didn't see a movie. I wrote word for word the book.
Yep.
And I was in there a year. Just under a year.
And for those of you that don't understand the power of putting pen to paper. We've talked about this before.
Oh, God.
There's emotion attached to physically writing. It requires more of a thought process, more of focus. So as you have to really think when you're writing versus just letting your mind wander off into this movie, which you do a lot in like meditation. You get to like
more of
play
an
a
escape,
picture.
though. That's more of an escape, right?
Yeah.
This was work.
Yeah,
and this was something I think. I talk to a lot of people about that want to start businesses, and we're in this world today where people, but other than OnlyFans, right? Okay. People nobody wants to work for the man anymore, right? And unfortunately, a lot of people aren't because, we talked about owning a business last time. But I talk to a lot of people and they're like, I want to start this business. I'm like, okay, and the question you always ask, Brian, is what's the why?
Yep.
I want to make it because I think you'd be successful and I can make good money and we could do this. No.
That's not why.
I've left money on the table with people trying to start businesses for that. And one of the same guys that came to me 3 times with a business idea that he had, and he wanted me to help invest and do all this. I turned him down. He came to me with an idea about something that he's good at, already good at, something that he knows well, something that he enjoys doing. And I was like, I shocked him because I was like, that's what we'll do. Absolutely. We're going to do that because he can be obsessed about the actual work. He's got an ambitious mind and he wants to do this. And I think that's what it takes for anybody. I got a business right now where it's a man and woman, Canine Bullies, Kingdom Bullies. Is it Kingdom Bullies? It's a business.
Yeah.
Kingdom Bully Kennels, right?
Good old
Brian Kendrick and his wife Samantha, and they are obsessed. And the reason I know this is going to be so successful and so fruitful is because they are obsessed with dogs.
Yeah,
they love dogs. Yeah. I'm not so sure if
they don't just love dogs; they live dogs.
They do.
There's a difference.
That's it right there.
Between loving the idea of something and loving the thing itself to the point where you're willing to live it.
Yes.
Like these animals live with him.
The dude can't go on vacation.
They are children to him.
They absolutely are.
And that's what it requires. And the funny thing is everybody listening is going, man, that sounds like it sucks. For you, it would.
It would.
If you're listening right now and that's your thought, you are right. That would suck for you.
And that's it.
It does not suck for him.
And that makes my point. Like, oh my God, people are making money and doing good off these dogs. I want to do that. No.
Yeah.
Because it's
Your
going
why
to
is
suck
wrong.
for you.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
It's going to suck for you.
Money does not make you happy.
No.
It doesn't.
Well, that's what I tell people all the time. Find something you love, be obsessed with it, and learn how to make money off of it. Otherwise, I don't think, there are businesses you could be in where you wouldn't necessarily, maybe it's a stepping stone to the next thing. And that happens. It's the same thing with people out here with their job. They hate their job. It sucks. They do 9-10 hours a day. It's just groveling through it. And then they get off work and they go watch Netflix and they don't do nothing with their evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
hate your job. You're in financial ruins. You're having financial problems. So you and your wife's fighting. You're not getting quality time with your kids because you're angry. You're irritable, restless, and discontent.
Yep.
Bam. Don't quit your job.
Yep.
But you got another 8 hours left in your day where you can get obsessed about something and manifest the plan constantly. If you're obsessed, you're going to manifest.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a byproduct of hyperfocus, and when you're obsessed, you hyperfocused.
Yeah.
The big problem I have seen with people is that they get a small glimpse of manifesting because something they were thinking about becomes true.
Yeah.
And so they think that now that's all they have to do is just like sit there in the morning and meditate and think about it for 25 minutes. And then their day's going to go great. Now I meditate every morning. And then this morning I get to work and I'm doing my thing and all of a sudden, bam, bam, bam. Like I felt like I was at a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. I'm just getting kicked in the face left and right.
by Jean-Claude?
Yeah, he just doing the spinning back kick. Like he is whooping my butt.
Yeah, that's killer move.
And I was driving back to a job site and I just started laughing. I said, you know what? I got to understand how strong I am right now. So I just need to shift gears.
Yeah.
I need to turn it back on and start focusing on what I was focused on this morning and be okay with it. I let something negative into my world this morning
and it
kind of kicked me a little bit and I let it sit there. And so it was like a nonstop brawl and I was losing severely for a good 2-3 hours. And then I just started laughing. So I was like,
how'd I get here?
Okay, nope,
Yeah.
I know exactly how I got here.
Yeah.
Rewind tape a little bit. Yep, that was it. Got it. Okay, cool. You out of my way. Let's get back to.
Let's refocus. That's why that saying, did you have a bad day or did you have a bad moment that you turned into a whole day? You know?
So a negative emotion is 7 to 10 times more strong than a powerful, than a positive emotion, right? Mm-hmm. So everybody's so surprised when they're like, well, my day started off bad. Yeah, because you let that inertia.
Yeah, inertia.
Activation energy, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about this stuff too.
Yeah.
You let that ball get rolling and then you didn't bother trying to stop that one. You just accepted it. In that moment, you're like, this is just going to be a bad day.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let it ride.
What is it about us that's okay with that sometimes?
We're lazy. We're lazy and we're comfortable. We know pain.
I think some of us enjoy it.
We know pain.
Like, we want to have that chip on our shoulder.
It's like the bad relationship that nobody gets out of.
Right.
You know what that pain looks like.
You like it.
So the brain is a prediction model, and as long as you can predict what's coming, then we're good.
Yeah.
So I know what this pain is going to feel like, so I'm just going to sit in it. I've had a bad day before. It's been crappy before. I'm okay with sitting in this right now.
And then I got to go home and say, I had a crappy day.
Right.
And
it was all justified.
And I like doing that.
And it all made sense. And so we got there's just this release.
It became an excuse.
Of course.
That's what it is.
Oh, yeah. This thing wrapped up inside of your skull is the most excuse-driven, negative powered.
Mine is, yes. And that
ball of crap that is so strong that when you learn how to there's just a little switch inside of you. It's really not that complicated.
I want to push that too, because I don't want you happen to be a guru, but but for me, this is something, and I talked about this battle inside my head many times, and that excuse battle is something. It's not easy for me. Like the things that I do every day, which is a large number of different things throughout my day. Even the gym in the morning, like. I made a post the other day. I've been consistent 5 days a week. I've been hitting the gym. I've been hitting it hard. But 4 days a week, my brain is coming up with an excuse as to why I can't or shouldn't go.
You want a little trick?
4 days a week.
I'll give you a little trick.
Go ahead.
In the NLP, which is neuro-linguistics programming.
What?
We all have different ways of thinking and communicating and the way that our thought patterns evolve, right?
Okay.
And so in certain NLP trainings, they call it pattern interruption. We spoke about this a few weeks ago. Pattern interruption, and you can do this to yourself, just like I did today without even really realizing I was doing it. I've done it so many times now that it's almost automatic.
Yeah.
Soon as you get that negative thought to roll into your day, you stop and say out loud, knock it off, Marty.
Not today.
This isn't who you are. Get with the program. As soon as you interrupt that pattern, you now have an option. Now you've got 2 roads. You can go back down the same road.
Because it's comfortable.
Because it's there. You know it's there. It's comfortable. Or you can accept that pattern interruption. Believe what you just said to yourself. Marty, this isn't how I'm wired. This isn't what I'm going to do today. I'm better than this. And you move. Soon as you move, there's no stopping that new inertia. Now you'll get to the gym. You're all fired up. You're all amped up. Try it.
I will.
Next time you're in the morning and you start to feel
4 days a week this happens.
Stop. Right there, wherever you are, and say out loud, Marty, knock it off. I have to do it all the time when I'm meditating. I'll have to shake my head because thoughts will enter in, and I'm like, knock it off.
No.
Get back to where you were, because it's sometimes very hard to hyper focus on something for 25, 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah. So I'll have to shake my head because I'll have a vision in my head that's happening in my mind, and I'm imagining, I'm enjoying it, and all of a sudden it's work. You're like, what the heck?
I wonder if the grass is
it's like, am I supposed to be?
Is there a dog outside peeing?
What am I supposed to be doing? And it's the dumbest thing too. Am I going to remember everything at work? I have a pattern of thinking and forgetting. Are you kidding me? So I got to just knock it off, Brian. Get back to focus. And you have to get in that mindset of stopping that other negative pattern. Be aware of it. We're all aware of it.
Well,
you just explained it. So you're very aware of it.
I am. After, sometimes I'm not aware of it when it's happening, and I'm getting into, it's been a few weeks now where I've pushed through it every single time. So that right there, I'm building a new pattern.
Yep.
I push through it every single time. But that negative thought comes in, and I probably don't notice it for 15 minutes. So I guess that's what I'll work on next, is noticing it quicker.
So we have our NEA and our PEA, which is negative emotional attraction, and our positive emotional attraction.
I like that better. Yeah.
Clearly the negative emotional attraction is stronger because it exists more.
Okay.
We deal with more negative than we do positive in every day.
Sure.
It's almost guaranteed. You got the news, you got your nagging coworkers, you probably got a spouse, a sibling, somebody that it just hates life for
Phone
whatever
calls,
reason,
social media,
something, right? And it's like I can't control this, so I just have to live in it. Bullshit. Sorry, Chris. I had to say it. I was doing pretty good today.
Kudos.
It's that. So that's your negative emotional attraction, and when you have it on, it will keep going.
So becoming constantly consciously aware of your thoughts is important.
The more you can live in your consciousness, you're living in the moment, because that's what it requires. You can't be consciously living in the past. Like, that's just autopilot.
Yeah.
You can consciously think about the past, and you will very quickly just go back into it and start like autopilot again. To consciously live in a moment.
How many of you guys have drove into work and got from home, which is point A, to work, point B, and you went from point A to point B and don't remember the whole ride?
Yeah.
How many times does that happen?
It happens all the time.
That
To the point where it has scared me before.
Yeah. Like, I don't remember
used to drive for a living.
Did I stop at that stoplight? I have no idea.
I used to drive for a living. All of a sudden, I would snap into it and be like, "What?
Where have I been for
What
a half
happened?"
hour?
Yeah, like so autopilot, right? Your brain is lazy. It's going lazy is kind of a tough term, because when you're thinking 50 to 70 to 90,000 thoughts, your brain actually isn't that lazy. It just wants to get through the motions, right?
Yeah.
But when you
Easier
and that's why
software.
you have to rewire, because you have to replace those moments in your mind with better ones, so that becomes the new autopilot. You have to rebuild your autopilot. It's like reprogramming a driver or reprogramming your computer, or like you leave your computer on for 17 days in a row without restarting it. It gets a little slow.
Yeah.
You got to reset.
Yeah, I used to do that.
Everybody
too.
needs a reset.
I used to have to take a nap every once in a while too.
I still do. And I enjoy every minute of it.
Mel Robbins talks about the 5-second rule.
Oh, I love that girl. Mel, if you're out there and you're listening, we're going to talk one day.
You want to do the show, Mel?
I'm telling you right now,
Somebody
we are
said-
going to talk one day.
Can somebody email this over to Mel Robbins, please?
That girl, I admire her, because I've heard her story and what she's gone through and what she's overcome, and how she was getting into radio and TV and doing her thing, and then kind of got kicked in the face and decided life change, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to take this for granted, but she's on to something with the 5-second rule, and I've done this and tried this.
I have to.
Count backwards.
I have to.
And then make a decision.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and
live
jump
with it.
and jump.
Go.
Yep.
And it works.
It does.
Very well.
When I heard
Pattern
it,
interruptions, same thing.
when she was talking about it, in the sense she was talking about it when I was listening to it, was the 5-second rule on the snooze button. Which, by the way, snooze button, if you're anything like me, that's one of your worst enemies. That is, you know what I mean? And you're not, Mr. Guru. I get it.
I think my alarm went off yesterday.
Yeah, after you was in the shower, probably. But a lot of people,
Cold shower.
they like to hit that damn snooze button, and most of us, I don't so much. I get up at 4:30 in the morning, by the way. Just want to throw that out there.
Good.
Yeah.
I've been up for an hour. Like, good.
He's done ran around the block, exercised for an hour, mowed the yard, painted the fence,
Neighbors
ready to
hate
go.
me, but I'm getting stuff done.
But she talks about in that snooze button, when that alarm goes off, and you plan the night before, you want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning for whatever reason. You had a plan. You told yourself so many times, like, I'm gonna not hit the snooze button. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna be on time. I'm gonna be early. And then that snooze button, or the alarm goes off at 6 a.m. and you hit it. You hit that snooze button, and you don't really have a choice at that moment sometimes. But she says, if you count, as soon as that alarm goes off, shut it off, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sit up instantly.
Lift off.
Don't
like
give
a
your
rocket.
because as soon as that alarm goes off, you have thoughts in your head about, okay, I'm gonna
That means I still got 15 more minutes.
I gotta I'll hit the
That
next
means
one.
if I skip the shower, if I don't wash my hair today, like you start rapidly planning.
Yeah,
all
like
this.
I can rush
get 10 more
I can
minutes.
get through this, right? I can rush through this. I don't need to brush my teeth this morning.
And we've talked about this.
But
There's a bad part to that.
soon, it's horrible, right? That sets a precedence for your whole day.
Well, we sleep in cycles.
Well, then there's that too. I guess you can explain that. But she says when those thoughts start coming up, if I can hit the snooze button, I can sleep in another 10 minutes. I can do this. I can not shower as long. I could not eat breakfast this morning. Maybe I don't need that second cup of coffee. All that stuff's going on. she said, count from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and jump. And I started doing that a long time ago, and it 1,000% works.
Of course it does.
It does.
Yes.
It does.
That's okay. So just real quick and she explains this. We sleep in cycles. They're about 90 minutes long.
Yeah.
So when you have a dream, you don't feel like you're stuck in the dream all night long. That's why people usually have multiple dreams, because you sleep in cycles.
I thought it was because the bad man came out and he woke you up.
Yeah, that's it.
Came out.
No, it's because your body's resetting its cycle. So we
the
sleep in
clown
90
finally
minute cycles.
came out of the closet, and it scared me enough that it woke me up. No,
that's definitely not it.
All right.
So we sleep in about 90-minute cycles. So if you hit your snooze button and you go back to sleep, you are now in the beginning of your new 90-minute cycle. So when you snap back up to get back, you have if you slept for a half hour longer, you have about an hour left of groggy, because your body wanted to get back in the cycle. So when you hit that snooze button and then go back to sleep, your body's like, cool, let's do another.
Yeah.
But then you interrupt that in the 30 minutes in, and your body's going, okay, this sucks. I was going downhill. I was getting back to relax. I was getting back in my cycle.
I can attest to that. To that.
Scientifically proven.
So
you're a scientist. I love it.
Because literally, like, I always wake up before my alarm. Mm-hmm. I just do. I got to get up. So let's say I got up at 4:30. Mm-hmm. This morning, I get up at 4. It's about 4:16, right? And I get up, I go use the restroom, I come back, and I sit on the edge of the bed, and I get a drink, and I hit my vape, of course. And I look at it, and I'm like, man, I can lay back down. My alarm ain't even off yet. Mm-hmm. And I did. And I felt like I was awake. I was good. Mm-hmm. I felt good. Mm-hmm. And then I took that nap, and I hit the snooze button once, and it was 20 minutes into it. Mm-hmm. And then I woke up, and I was like, oh, man. Mm-hmm. This sucks.
You feel like someone just wrestled you back to the ground.
Fact. That's a fact. That's a scientific fact coming from me.
That's Marty Norman, the scientist. So I want to wrap it up here real quick, because I love this banter that we got going on. Manifestation. Be careful what you manifest. Yeah. Hyper focus on what you want in your life, not what you need. Having needs is great, but your want needs to be your drive.
And follow it up with an extreme amount of action. I think that's one thing we forgot to really mention.
Extreme
amount of action. Action. Move. Go.
Once you get past
otherwise
the hump,
otherwise you're just sitting on the couch looking for a genie.
Once you get past the hump and you start to understand that when you are still getting negative things, it's because you're still manifesting the negative. All you got to do is make that shift. Once you get over that hump, it becomes very exciting.
Yeah.
It's like a drug. I tell people every day, I may be in recovery, but I get high every day.
Right.
Because I have such an endorphin rush released in my brain on a regular basis, because I'm just excited, because it's fun. It's like watching a movie unfold that you're the producer of. You're like, watch this. You can almost, you feel like you can predict the future because you can, because you're creating your future in your mind. That's how you predict the future. We're predicting the future every day. We just do it in a negative way. Shift that to positive. Positivity will... Peter Pan couldn't fly unless he thought happy thoughts. I mean...
Who's Peter Pan, Chris?
Oh, come on. I'm not that old.
The Hook.
Yeah, the Hook was part of it too. Yep, he was there too.
I remember him.
But Peter Pan couldn't fly unless he thought happy thoughts.
He gave him no fish hook.
This is not just a movie producer having fun with something. These are real life things that people thought they wanted to make more fun. So hopefully people would get into it. Change some belief patterns in children's, right? I believe that's what some of these producers were here for, is they understand that you got to entertain the children with different thought patterns. And so think happy thoughts, then you can fly.
I think it's even in the Bible, and it's all over Proverbs, but it's even in the Bible that says you can move a mountain with your mind.
Yes.
I don't think you can actually stare at the mountain. I don't think that's what he meant.
It's metaphorical.
You can stare at it Bible and it will move. I don't think that was ever it. That was not literal, but yes, absolutely. So
the power of your mind is an amazing thing. Just embrace it. Please, if you are struggling with this, reach out to us. If you know someone that is struggling with addiction, reach out. Please. We are here trying to change the world one person at a time.
Amen.
One person at a time every day would be hundreds of thousands, because I've got a long time left. So let's go.
Let's go, baby.
I'm down for it. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Let's do it. Like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Let's start a movement.
Yes.
# change the world.
# change the world. We'll see you next week, ladies and gentlemen.